Okay. That was our theme music. Welcome to the first post Hang On to Your Shorts Film Festival, Hang On to Your Shorts podcast.
Here.
Conmigo with here. Where's here?
Bellworks.
A Shared Universe Podcast Studios.
True.
With producer extraordinaire Ming Chen controlling things here. My name is Hiram Ortiz, and this is
BK, Brian Kopack.
Yes, and this Hang On to Your Short podcast, which is obviously film festival sponsored by Homesick, Porta, Pascal and Sabine, Casa de Montecristo Cigars, River Street Suites, Investors Bank,
Heritage House Sotheby's, and a Shared Universe Podcast Studios.
Okay, so yes, here we are. We're very happy to be here. We survived, brother.
Yes, truly.
Well,
truly.
one of two challenges. The Oracle says that there's two.
Yes.
We're missing a lot of people because they're busy doing other things. Rich Mello Lello.
Yes.
And
Chris
our buddy, Chris Orangio. So what's your initial takeaway about this year?
Ooh, put me on the spot.
Yes, I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay, yeah. I love the fact that we're live and that we did it, because the last couple of years were really kind of in the can and streaming. And not that was a bad thing. It was the only thing we could do, right?
Yes.
So getting back to the live stuff, and I think it was just super cool that, we were back at the place we started, which was the showroom over in right on Cookman
Yes,
Avenue.
I had never been there.
Yeah, no.
I've been with the festival for a couple of years. That was my first time there.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, it's a beautiful place. I got to shout out to Debbie Bonig, who basically runs the place. I mean, Michael Parr and his mom own the place, and they're bringing that cinema, the small, although I think they're having the Northman there, they bring back. Their main thing is like art house type of movies. Some, like not really, major blockbuster type of stuff. So to have us there for the day, really rings true to where we started, and that's where we started. And I'm really happy about that. That was very cool. And of course, as always, Porta, shined like a diamond, you crazy diamond. And that was pretty cool and then having in the Abbott room, which is right off the main focus room where we're showing the films, to have Casa de Montecristo have their cigar people in there. The two women who were running that were phenomenal. You should have been there, Ming. It was free cigars to everybody who was hanging out.
They were giving you cigar lessons.
Yes.
How to cut the tip.
If you need that done.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. Where are they based out of?
They are they're here in Jersey.
Okay.
So I know there's one in Paramus, and through JR Cigars, I believe is, I got to get back to me, like somebody will chime in.
Yeah, I'll look it up,
that.
but
Yeah.
Casa de Montecristo.
Casa de Montecristo.
Okay,
yeah.
big shout out to them. That's really cool.
Yes, it was
So
very cool.
they have like a cigar roller there too, and like
No, not this time.
Okay.
Maybe next time. But this time they actually had like stuff to sell as well as to give away, which
Right.
was beautiful. And some people bought like cutters, and I know your sister bought a couple of cigars, and
Yes.
so it was a cool thing, and people loved it because it was something. It was a takeaway. And then the other thing that was beautiful. And again, talk about takeaways. This is a tongue twister. River Street Sweets sponsored us and also gave us lollipop Oscars to give out, and everybody loved those. It was very cool to have. So these takeaways are things that people could take home with them.
I didn't
It's
get
really
one.
cool. I have extra. I have plenty.
Awesome. Awesome. And you know what? A couple of other stars, of last Sunday. One of three.
Okay.
Number one, the weather. What a beautiful day.
Rocked.
Big change from a couple years ago in 2019, the last time we were live.
Torrential rain.
It was torrential rain. Yeah. And Asbury Park was just radiant.
It was beautiful.
Asbury Park was amazing. It was restaurant week, so there were people walking all up and down the strip. And, and if anybody happened to come into the Jersey Shore that had never been to the Jersey Shore before, as some people did, they would have fallen in love with Asbury Park and the Jersey Shore. Last but certainly not least, the filmmakers and the films. Holy wow. The work that you put in,
Yes.
the quality and the level, having to whittle it down to a handful of films to show this year, although it wasn't a handful, it was close to 100. But it was just simply difficult.
Yes.
The reason why we showed so many was because there were so many quality projects put out there, all beautiful, compelling in their own way, and from all over the world. We had from Australia, from Asia, from Spain. Some of the nominees were
China.
So
Yeah, and I love the fact that people were kind enough to share their art with us and really show up to see it, especially at the showroom and then over at Porta, where we were hanging out all day. Usually it's you and I hanging out at Porta, but this time, because Rich's foot was bummed out, he hung out with me. And we hung out that whole day and just watched films, most of which I had seen, or a lot of which I had seen, and then some surprise films, and then because different sets, bring in different things, and I don't want to go too much further without saying a shout out to Maurice Paramore for showing up.
absolutely.
I mean, like that was the shit, man. Maurice showed up.
Maurice is very busy, very much
Yes.
like Ming Chen here. Maurice is always in touch with us, and he actually, stamped his, stamp on this festival by reviewing and discussing films. And a couple of times I reached out to him, philosophical things, what do you think about this film and all of this. And he's always very measured with his words and careful, and we really appreciate it. We
Just
didn't
a
know
good
that he
guy.
was going to come.
No. And that was the cool ass thing. He showed up and was like, "Hey guys," and I'm like, "Holy shit, you're here!" It wasn't a very much expected thing. Very glad he did, because he definitely helped out with the awards ceremony. But his presence there to me was just the shit. That was the coolest. Just having him there, because he started with us. I mean, I'm sure he was in other film festivals, but he was with us in the very beginning, and then. Just recently put out a film that he had shown, I think it was in 2018 or 19, Regrets.
Yes.
That was a short film and now full-length feature, right? And I think we talked about this a couple of
Yes.
shows ago when we had him on, or where he
It's
was
available on Tubi.
Yes.
And if you can watch it.
Yeah.
I also want to shout out. I think I quickly mentioned it, and we want to do this quickly because we have a special guest, a very, very special guest who we're lucky to have tonight. But I have to shout out all the people that viewed and reviewed films this year. There were a lot of them. I just want to highlight a couple of the names. Kathy Malusky, who was there, and she pretty much stayed at a showroom and watched almost everything, which is amazing. Mark Clawberg, who was also a winner.
Dr. Mark Kloberg.
Dr. Clawberg, and he's amazing.
Yes, this guy. He's great
just
director.
By the way, the films that were in the festival this year, a lot of them, and a lot of the nominees, he was the one that said, "Hey, this film should get nominated." He's amazing. JT, we had JT back
JT
this
McGuire
year, which is
helped
awesome.
us out with all of the audio, visual, and production part of Porta. And thank you, JT. That was awesome. Thank you for being back, and hopefully, if we're at Porta next year, he will be part of that show.
Yes, I want to thank Chris Cullen, our buddy Chris. He stopped by, and he lent us a cash box, which was wonderful. We haven't had him here in a while, obviously, but he's a good guy, and always fun, either talking film or talking Mets or talking
beer
or Ming Travels.
Ming Travels.
Ming's Travels.
Right.
Had to thank him for stopping by, and also Larry Rosen and them,
And Tom Bragg.
and TF Bragg with Pretty Piranha,
yeah.
which we're going to do a reading of Pretty Piranha in one of the upcoming podcasts.
Oh, that'd be
which
killer.
Is awesome.
Will Tom be in on that? Will
Of course,
be
he has
flown
to
in?
be.
We'll have to fly him in from New
No,
York.
we have to fly him in, yes. You know what? So really quickly, Rye Caraway, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Not only a great photographer and actor, but also, a film reviewer. Kate Dalton, Thank you so much. Hurricane, Andrew Froning, Steve Hanish, Maurice.
Steve Hanish, yes, a guy who's been on the show before.
Yes.
Very funny guy.
You know, all of you were instrumental in creating this. And we've been just so wrapped up in this because this is still not over.
No.
That we haven't taken a breath to thank the people that we really need to thank and we're very, grateful for.
Yes.
But brother, can you introduce our guest? Can you let him know?
I have to buzz him in.
Yeah,
Hold
you
on.
got to buzz him in.
All right, well, Ming will buzz him in.
Awesome. Yes.
Hey, come on in.
That's the best way. Yes. Okay, so can you please introduce?
Yes. This guy needs no real introduction, but we're going to introduce him anyway. His name is Jack Vaughn. His film that he gave. Oh, wait a second. I don't know if this. I don't know if this is plugged in. I need a plug in here.
I'll take care of that.
All right. Yeah. So yes. So Jack Vaughn, Rachel's Tree. Now, let me get this straight. Not only did you enter it in our film festival, but you entered it into.
So I had actually I did one online festival. It was one based out of Manchester.
Okay. In Manchester, England, or Manchester, New Jersey?
England.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Very
it was
nice.
an all online festival.
Beautiful.
And then I submitted to this one. It was a local one. I was really interested.
Mhm.
And then I'm
Well,
also
thank you.
going to be yes, of course. And then PJ Bracco, who was the film teacher
Mm-hmm.
in the Monmouth Arts High School, it was a prompt-based project.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, is one of the board directors of Film One in
Okay.
Atlantic Islands.
Okay.
So I'm gonna recut it under 2 minutes and hopefully submit there.
Wow.
Awesome. Well, I want to quickly show him, just some of the reviews. And I just spoke about Mark Clawberg, who was a winner for his film Vitriol. I said that he was instrumental in bringing some of the films this year. Just very quickly, look at those ratings.
Oh wow! Wow.
Yes.
I really appreciate all of those.
Yes. So thank our our film reviewers. Mark Clawberg gave him a 9 and actually nominated you for an award. Ryan Calloway, my producer and buddy, gave you an 8. Kathy Maluski, trigger warning. This feature features. We'll let you talk about your film. But welcome, buddy. Welcome.
Yes,
I
I
cannot
appreciate
believe
that.
that you're 16 years old.
Yes, 17 actually. 17.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's how he's driving here. Which high school do you go to?
I go to Friel Township.
Oh, that is awesome. A long time ago. Yeah.
How long?
1990s.
Before or after the hairline?
1990s, in the 90s. You probably were not
So
even
the
born
hairline
yet.
was still all good then.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I'm gonna lose mine, and then we'll all be sitting here when we're older.
That'll be all right.
No.
That'll be all right.
But the trick about this is being okay with it.
Yeah,
Dude, look at
it's
that
the
smile.
confidence.
You're going to be
It's the
fine anyway.
confidence.
Hair or no
Yeah,
hair.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
It's like this. Hello.
See,
I'm
it's a
kidding.
pretty face, pretty smile. That's all you need.
So, you know what? It's really amazing to have young people that are this involved and this engaged and this interested
And creative.
in creating, because everybody wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to be, especially in high school. I'm a teacher. Everybody. Well, I want to be. You're not wanting to be anything. You're being it,
I
True.
appreciate that.
which is awesome.
I appreciate that sentiment. That's something that has always been, that's been really delivered, handed down by my family. They're always been really supportive, no matter really what it was. The thing about the arts that really drew me. So first of all, it's a family thing. So
Okay.
my brother went to Quinnipiac to be
okay.
a screenwriter. He's ingrained the love of film into me. I was an athlete for a while, and it actually wasn't until this year that I decided I was going to switch my focus to the arts, because I think there's nothing like expressing yourself. There's really nothing, and I feel like, at least in my life and my experiences, there's no better way to see it done than through film. I love it.
It's a beautiful medium. Beautiful.
Beautiful,
Yes.
really is.
Absolutely. So you said your brother went to school for that.
Yep.
Okay, so wow, that's awesome. Anyone else in your family?
No, it was just my brother. My brother. Actually, one of the little devices in the film came from, influences my brother had shown me from Citizen Kane and stuff like
very
that.
nice,
So,
very nice.
it's something that, means a lot. And, so, he has 12. You walk in the living room of our apartment, you walk upstairs, walk in the apartment, and there's a wall of 1,200 Blu-rays. Wow. All you get, Steelbooks,
Very influential.
Criterions.
Very influential.
You know what? Everybody streams things now, and that's wonderful. Streaming is great. However, and this is where, when I still had a hair, when it comes to music, I still like freaking CDs. If I can, I will buy them. And, even if I upload the music and, movies, there's nothing like owning the DVD or the Blu-ray. Forget that.
Or the
man.
VHS.
Yeah. Or the VHS.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Back. I was just watching a round table. The round tables they do with Hollywood Reporter, all like the actors and directors. They were talking about Nicolas Cage and a few of the other actors at the table were talking about like how powerful just going into a theater and the theater experience is, which is why I'm so excited to be Screaming and Hang On to Your Shorts Film Festival on May 8th, 4 to 8 p.m.
Thanks for the plug.
Yes, of course. But yeah, so I really appreciate that opportunity.
No, man, it's our pleasure because that was it. The work is good, and we had a lot. And Hiram talked about this before you came in. We had a lot of stuff to choose from. So we had a lot of stuff to choose from in the regular festival, because even though the student is basically college and high school, so you're up against college and high school, because to mix it in with these people who can, there's been budgets that I've seen have to exceed 100,000, maybe more, on some films, even short films.
Yeah.
And then there are people who have done stuff with probably an iPhone 13 who did a phenomenal job and just made it work. And just because of the material and what they did and the creation, so at the end of the day, it's what you've done that shines through. So, we're looking to hopefully have these things shown at Red Bank on Sunday.
Yes.
4 to 8.
4 to 8. But also sometime after.
Yes, because we are going to try to do another Best of the Fest. Now, where that's going to be, we're not sure. But we did a Best of the Fest
in the fall.
And that was great because people got to see their work of art, their creation on the big screen. So you're going to get to see that now. Now, at my part in the film festival was at Porta. Porta had, a regular small screen, like pull down kind of thing, and it was great. Don't get me wrong; it's a nice environment, but there's nothing like seeing it in the theater.
There's really nothing like it.
It's just a beautiful thing.
If I can align the stars next year, I will make it so that or almost all of the films are in actual theater, because as a creator, if you're a musician, you want to hear it either in a hall or in a nightclub or on the radio. And if you are a filmmaker, you want to see it in a theater. But, speaking of Rachel's Tree, which is a very compelling name, by the way, Rachel's Tree.
I appreciate that.
That movie was one of the first that I saw, and wow. So many questions, but I just want to know where that came from.
So, beyond the prompt, so just to give an idea, the prompt was 2 minutes and under, which I didn't follow. It was,
but it worked.
But it worked, right?
Yeah.
And that's what PJ said too. So
cool.
It was 2 minutes and under. There had to be a mason jar and a line of dialogue saying, "I knew it." So it's a very it's a very it had
specific.
To be a cellar too. There had to be a cellar in the film.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so it's a very niche kind of prompt. But I had just watched, speaking of which, my brother, he's actually the manager at AMC Theater. So we do, private screenings, and we did like a 70s double feature the other night. Just me,
cool.
Which AMC?
him, my brother, Freehold.
Freehold?
Yep,
Awesome.
AMC 14. We
had watched. What did you watch? I'm sorry.
Oh, Requiem for a Dream.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Fucking nuts. That movie is nuts.
Yes, nuts. And it was, speaking of, it was 1 in the morning when we started the film. So I walked out and my world was just different.
Yeah.
Well, it really opened my eyes to how heavy a film could be. So
that's heavy.
Yeah, so I wanted to, I had gone over a few different possible ideas with the actor who starred in it, Vinny Albano. He's a director who actually also got me into acting in his films, which is what I've been picking up a lot recently. Anyways, I had gotten that, and then I had a few other ideas that bounced off with him, and eventually this idea of grief, this idea of that's no problem. The grief element is really something I wanted to explore. So yeah.
So part of grief and loss, which is a heavy duty situation. So talk to me. So you had this prompt by the professor or teacher, and you followed some of the guidelines, specifically, the different parts in the film.
Yeah.
Not maybe so much the timing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because again, I loved it because to me, nothing better than shorts.
Yes.
And because I got to be honest with you, look, people can take a long time to tell a nice message, and you can get the fullness, and you can get the scope, and you can get the majesty of all the beauty that's the ocean and the mountains and the sky and all that other stuff. But if you can compress it down and make something happen, like in that amount of time, 2 minutes and 44 seconds, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
So.
I appreciate that.
And it's a beautiful challenge, by the way. You know what? There's two hats that I wear as a human being, as an actor myself, and being part of this film festival. It's the one hat is like, who the am I to tell you how your art should be, what it should look like? That's not for me to say.
Yeah.
But the practical part of us, programming a film festival, there's movies where there is a story and there is beauty, but it's buried in, under a crate of sand. And you have to dig through so much incidental stuff to get to the story that we have to say no.
Yeah.
Even though we don't want to.
Right.
But, we had films that were 30, 40 minutes long where, there was a great story, but it just ran way too long.
As Hiram would say, it was compelling. It was compelling. But
Well, just for the record, we're not looking to not add a movie. Every movie that's in that queue, we're trying to find a reason or justification to keep it.
And that's why we have other people besides ourselves look at these films. We look at them, we watch them, but at the end of the day, we have other eyes on it so that we can, because we don't, we could get prejudiced. I mean, we could kind of like, oh, well, I know that person, or this person knows me, or this one, blah. And we don't want to. We don't want to be about that. We want to be about the. We want to be about the work. We want to be about what the art is. And it's hard, man. And that's why we have more eyes on it this year than we probably have in years.
Ever. And right. I will tell you what. I think that it was obvious with the films that were chosen, but that's just one person's opinion. But I mean, you saw it with your own eyes. You saw your own reviews. You saw what people.
Yeah.
They were all very high, by the way. That's why.
That.
I didn't even have to put my 2 cents worth there because everyone else did. The film was definitely dark.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely
so talk
dark. I
about
mean,
that, if you don't mind.
not just the palette. The palette
And
of you.
I could go into that a lot.
Yeah, sure.
So if the whole like you said, the palette, the color grade, I wanted it to be somewhat have that dark feeling, but I also want certain colors to kind of express where this, you have 2 minutes. So every shot, there has to be something that tells the story. So again, kind of going back to that Citizen Kane, like the sled, not to give anything away.
There was no sled.
I haven't seen it.
Citizen Kane. You haven't seen Citizen Kane. Okay.
Yeah, those little like devices, with the rose, the rose that he lifts to his face. That's in itself is his lost, spouse, girlfriend, whatever, significant other. And then like the red apples in that. So if you look at the shot, that speaking, I love my brother. He's everything. So that Kubrickian kind of like
Stanley,
Kubrickian kind of
love Stanley.
Yes, right. That little like symmetrical flat shot where he's going into that little vineyard. The one apple that, if you look, the reds are really bright. That one apple, I put a mask over it, and I just wanted to desaturate it, and it's dead.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
she's trying to pick something off a tree that really shouldn't be picked off. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to bring something back that's already gone.
Right.
And so when he puts down that flower at the grave, is kind of him putting down attempting to put down his grief, which is where the third act comes in, and then, you kind of get into it starts to be like, whoa, now we're really in this character's mind, which is what I wanted the seller to be, like he's walking into his mind. That's why it has the flashlight. You see it. We were working with, like iPhone flashlights.
I was going to say, I wanted to know more about that end because
Yeah.
I see where the creative process is in character, story. But now, talk to me, if you will, about project.
So project, I had 2 weeks to come up with it, shoot it, and edit it.
Wow, okay.
So it was a 2-week turnaround time. I had 1 day of shooting. It was after school.
Where'd you shoot it?
Well, I shot it at Monmouth Battlefield.
Oh, that's awesome. I've
yes.
never been there. I
would-
drive
you
past
should
it all the
go.
time.
The
should definitely
apple
go.
orchard.
Yes.
Okay.
There were so many challenges that came up. So actually, the cellar that I had originally wanted to use, there was an abandoned house in farmhouse in Monmouth Battlefield.
Oh, okay.
But when we went to scout like the location, to make sure everything was okay, it had been torn down.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, great. So now I need to come up with a cellar.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm like, where am I gonna find a cellar?
Right,
New
right.
Jersey, like, you know what I mean? Like, where am I gonna find a cellar? I ended up having a friend and just kind of turned his back basement into, to try and do my best.
Okay.
So we had 2 light panels,
Mm-hmm.
a light wand. I had I had a few friends helping me a little bit with holding diffusers and stuff like that.
Sure.
But all natural light. I had a little mirrorless M50.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first thing I really saved up for and bought, on myself.
Beautiful.
So yeah, but I tried to make the best of all the resources I had, and it was all handheld, everything like that. So, but
That's
I'm
a beautiful
still
thing,
happy
man.
with it.
I mean, you made it work. I mean,
Yeah.
really, I like I said, I loved it. And that insert, if you don't mind me going into, like when he's having that memory or the flashback, that was just
That shot I did love. I
that was
really
a
did love
beautiful
that.
shot, man.
Oh, that's where the Vincent Van Gogh film. Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting it? At Eternity's Gate. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, so there's a shot where Willem Dafoe's looking up and it's all spinny, and it's supposed to be like he's within his own mind. And there's that little, and I put the little glass overlay, and I forget the name. It was it was a something optical something. That in an actual budget it costs this little piece of glass that costs $6,000.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I'll just put an overlay over it, and and make it work. And I think I guess that film again, it's just taking all these little bits and pieces that inspire you and then making it your own.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind me asking, and I don't know how much you want to get into it, because again, please come down on Sunday. I'm not begging. I'm just saying, hey, you want to see this guy's work? Come on down. But on top of that, there's a bunch of other filmmakers that we would love. Now this year was kind of a bit of a shit show with getting back on track.
Yeah.
Coming out of COVID, and it's sure we can all say, oh yeah, I'm coming back around. I'm going back on vacation, doing this, that, and the other thing, wearing mask, no way. This is our first attempt in a couple of years to do a film festival. This guy scouted out the places. All right, he hooked us up because we had done. I'm not pointing at you, but I'm pointing at you.
Yeah.
Hooked us up with the film the best of the fest in the fall, and then was able to get us secured for on Sunday, which is a weird day because it's Mother's Day.
It is Mother's Day.
But
It's a beautiful
But-
theater, by the way. I
Yes.
haven't been there, but I saw images and I was like,
yeah, no,
whoa.
you're gonna love this.
I was like, this is
it's
amazing.
cool. It's a cool.
Yeah,
place.
it's Basie Center Cinemas it's just a very nice place. It holds a lot of people. My friend Ryan Calloway, who's a director and a producer, I've been in some of his films. We've done all our screenings we've
Yes,
done there.
yes.
So it's a theater.
Yes, a real theater.
We like real theaters.
When we can, yeah, and Porta works out because Porta serves a double purpose. It's a beautiful little area. People can get stuff to eat. They can have a drink or two if they want. They can watch the films, and then we have the award ceremony there when we do the real big boy.
Yes.
But not to take anything away from the student films, because again, there are times where Hiram and I and other people that we have involved have said, this is that level quality that this could be in with the players that are out of high school and college.
Well, that's what we're doing next year. We had a former director who was a teacher of film, and we started getting an influx of a lot of high school films. So we started doing separate sets for high school. So this year, when we are kind of getting on the horse again, we just followed the old playbook, which was have high school sets and then have other sets, without even thinking about it, just because we needed to, to get it done. but we are actually actively speaking so that next year, high school films are going and college films are going to be integrated into the festival.
Right.
They're just part. They're not going to be if they're So there aren't
So
going
it
to
would
be
be
any
nice to have a
separate
2-day
sets.
festival because
We
one
are gonna-
day, one
yes.
day is just too it's just
Too much.
too much to try to compress it
Yeah.
down and it doesn't leave time for networking. While we had the lounge at Showroom, and like I said, it just blew by my brain because I was just like, because I would have invited you down, I would have said, hey, stop in because there's people to network with or talk to or, et cetera. There's going to be a lot more going into it next year because we're so aware of what we either didn't get to or miss or what we need to care for more.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, we're going to be in Red Bank on Sunday at 4 to 8. So if now I know you said you bought tickets,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now I don't know who you've got coming or who wants to check out your thing, but it'll definitely be worth, what do we have? How many films?
Like
on
20, 22, 23 films.
22, 23 films. And what we would like to do, and depending upon time and et cetera, is, try to work it out so that we can, have people talk in between and, and when we do awards and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, so
it's just going to be me and him that day. So,
You guys got it.
yeah.
Yeah, he's so confident. I love it. I love that. That's freaking awesome.
That's my faith in you, brother. That's my faith in you.
So, you say you also acted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that. How you got there?
So actually, again, Vinny Albano, who's one of my childhood best friends, it's something that we've bonded over since we were in the 3rd grade. I didn't actually start making films. I didn't get my first camera. I didn't pick up a camera until May of 2021.
Wow.
Wow.
All right,
So
nice
that
job. Nice
film
job.
was done about, what is that, 6 months afterwards.
Okay.
After I picked up a camera. And actually the very first film I ever made showed at Garden State. It was this quirky
Okay.
comedy I did about my brother. He has autism. And it was this little quirky comedy that it was my dad and my brother acting that we did for his senior drama project. And it was,
Now, what was that called?
Crazy Pop Roller Coaster.
Okay.
So complete it's funny if you watch that and then you watch this and you think about how mad I have to be to have 6 months time frame in between.
Do I have that? I have that. What? That's not the first time I've seen that name, Crazy Pop Roller Coaster.
It was
We
at
have
Garden
that film.
State. It was in
Yeah,
my
and
high
I
school
think-
since Garden State.
Was that in 2021? You went to Garden State last year, didn't you?
Yeah, no. But when I was looking at films for converting today, Crazy Pop Roller Coaster
Oh
was
yes,
one of
that
them.
was my bad because I had forgotten which download link I'd been thinking about.
That's
Yes,
why.
I sent it in, then I sent in a second Rachel.
Thank you for making him crazy.
I get to see it. Yeah, so I get to see it now because I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Where does this film fit in? I'm like, I know this.
I apologize about
No,
that.
it's okay.
man.
Now
I
I
tried to
know.
follow it up with a different email, and I was like, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Vinny Albano is, we work together on stuff all the time, and actually we just did a film about 2 heroin addicts. I played a heroin addict, and yeah, I loved it. It's called Love Aaron. He's working on the final cut right now.
How long is that?
It's about 7 or so minutes.
Oh, wow.
6 or
Okay.
7 minutes.
Okay. Can we look forward to seeing that? at
Yes,
some point?
definitely,
Okay, cool. All right,
definitely.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
And the actress who worked on this film, they're both from FPAC, Howell,
Cool. Okay.
which is the
Beautiful.
they have a
The,
little film program over there for acting and
Over at Howell?
yep.
Yeah.
So I had gotten to working with them, both extremely talented people, and I love collaborating with them. And then Amanda Katz, who I believe Ming had interviewed. Is that true? So yeah, her and Blake.
He co-signed that.
Yes, they were amazing. I just did a film for her senior thesis project called Four that I starred in,
That's
and
awesome.
that was definitely tested how far I could go in acting. But I'm very happy. Especially there was this one scene. I'm very happy I was able to pull it off. I was nervous, to the death of me. But when I all was said and done, and you got the emotion out, it's like wow. And that character was OCD and schizophrenia.
Wow.
So
Wow,
Covered some
that's-
bases.
Yes. I want to continue asking. Just random. You said you were an athlete. What sport did you play?
I played basketball.
Oh,
I was
cool.
playing-
He's tall. Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing varsity basketball like midway through the season,
Could've
and
been
it
a
was
runner.
when I got into your festival. So thank you so much. Your festival had given me the courage to be like, I'm done. Like I'm gonna,
Great.
I went
We
to
just
my,
stopped the juniors college, high school basketball.
Right.
Oh,
We just
jeez.
yeah, it was right after the festival. We had or not festival. Oh my gosh, tournament.
Yeah,
That we had. And I went to the coaches. They were very supportive about it. But I was like, you know what? I really want to focus on this. It means more.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All
So
right.
Yeah.
But you're still working out, right?
yeah, still
Okay, good.
working out. Still
Yeah,
being
and you know
active.
what? Yeah.
I don't want you to just start smoking cigarettes and
No,
drinking
no,
bourbon
no,
in the
no,
middle of the
no.
afternoon.
I'm not trying to be Johnny Depp.
No.
I love
Well,
Johnny Depp. He's great.
You know
Yes,
what?
he is
There
crazy
is
great.
something to be said about that. Like, listen, I'm 50 years old. I still play baseball. I love sports.
50?
Yeah, but
Man,
check.
you gonna do over 30.
No, but check this.
Without
I
that
really
hair.
do believe. I do believe in sports and all of that.
Yes.
And you could have your cake and eat it too. Obviously, you're young enough. That being said, there comes a time in your life where you kind of have to prioritize the things that you want and the
Yeah.
things that you want to pursue.
Yeah.
And if you know that you're not going on moving beyond high school basketball,
Yeah.
then you know what? I'd say six months after picking up a camera, he's
Yeah.
getting films accepted into film
Yeah,
festivals.
no.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I
appreciate
think
it.
that's
Thank you.
that's where your heart is. You know, I mean, not to say that it wasn't in basketball, and not that you can't go back. And like Hiram said, you can have your cake and eat it too. You're young enough to do anything you want whenever you want, which is great. And we highly support, exercise and working out and staying in shape and all that stuff. But if you can do what you're doing, where you're doing the acting, where you're doing the producing, you're doing the directing, you're
Yeah.
doing the writing. That was in that film. I just want to circle back really quick, and again, I don't know how much you want to say about it because again, we're going to watch
it's all
this
out.
on
It's
Sunday.
a film that I think needs more to be talked about
Okay.
because then you really get the gist.
So now,
Yeah.
the end. We talked about that when I
Yes.
was talking to you today. Do you want to talk about it, and do you want to talk about what that metamorphosis was, and what that
Like,
end
kinda-
shot? That
Okay.
whole
Yeah, no problem. So I had actually, after he kind of says I knew it, that's his recognition of like, I've gone too far, but I know I can't live without this person.
Right.
And that's kind of where Requiem for a Dream kind of came in. Not only the dynamic between the two, the love relationship in it, but the idea of the drug.
Right, right.
So it's almost like that's the idea of the drug. It's like
The
you
addiction.
either
Yeah.
so the addiction, you're always an addict. You know what I mean? You're always in grief. It doesn't just disappear if you try and put it down. So yeah, at the end, it's almost like originally it had been when I had thought it. Again, we're running low on time. I got my friend's mom texting me, "Hey, when are you gonna be heading out?" Blah, blah, blah.
Right,
I'm like, I got like, a few more shots. Blah, blah,
Right.
Please don't kick me out.
Right.
And so it was supposed to be a shadow that leans in with the arm that was kind of representative of grief. That voice that you hear, that's grief. That's grief talking to him. That's him, that's grief saying, now it's your time. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
she's gone. Now it's
Right.
you know
but
what I mean?
but it also has that thing where he opens that thing up and it says, "Be with me."
Yes, and that's the idea. So then when he raises from his chair and she says, "Come on, right? Like, come with me." He's walking into that forest. It's a point of acceptance. You know what I mean? It's where you're beyond the point of denial. When he's having the envisioning of her in the vineyard and her sitting there picking the apple, it's him being in denial, thinking she's still here, but he's accepted that she's gone.
At that point,
But yes,
Yeah,
but he's
right.
also accepted that he still has to be,
he has to live.
he has
to be
to,
here.
and his only way to live is with her. You know what I mean? That's why, like, the heartbeats.
Right.
Do you hear
Yes,
those
yes, yes,
heartbeats
yes.
when
Yeah,
he brings
yeah,
the
yeah.
rose? Okay, so it
Yeah,
all goes
yeah.
back to that. The heartbeat, that's living with her. That's where his heart actually starts to work when she comes into his life. So,
Wow. It's
Yeah.
intense, man. It's deep. You know.
Yeah, and there's so much
Layers.
ambiguity and so much that you can't help but be intrigued and a little spooked.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's really compelling work, and sometimes this happens sometimes. It really does. That we're watching a film and then we look at the bio. Oh, this is a student film. In other words, it's not obvious it was a student film.
no,
It's
it was
just
not.
it's a really good film.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's a student film. There's two that I distinctly remember in this festival, and you're one of them, which is awesome. Which is, every now and then you meet somebody and you're like, all right, yeah,
That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, they're gonna do this. They're gonna do this.
Thank you.
And you know what? You're still very young, and that's a good thing. This is not ageism.
No critique.
Which no. It's a great thing. Embrace the journey, because obviously the journey has ups and has downs. Ming is very accomplished, and he's our inspiration. For a lot of what we do. But even he will tell you that there's been really, challenging times in his journey, and you just have to be persistent, because the universe does listen. You are, and not to be corny, but as long as we're here and we can make this happen,
You've got a seat at the table.
You
appreciate
definitely
that.
do, and
Means everything. Thank you.
But no, we hope, if you can, stick around for a couple of minutes, because we'd like to talk to you like after. And actually, you could stay with us. I mean, I don't want
Oh yeah, no problem.
I don't want you to leave. Any other people in Freehold Township High School that are following the same path that you are?
So I actually have a great friend of mine, Dylan Zakiri. He makes music, and so we have a little collective called AFB. It's just it's me, Vinny, Dylan, and two of our friends, Michael and Owen, and we we have outside of film, I have a big passion for travel. And seeing an abandoned things and stuff like that. And so seeing, it really goes back to just seeing the beauty in everything. Cool. There's so many facets of life. And, he makes music. But we have, Owen photography, and we've, kind of tried to launch a little brand. And yeah, so.
Cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is really awesome.
Yeah, we actually want to start a podcast. Actually, we want to launch our podcast in the next 3 weeks.
Well,
hopefully.
this is the place to start.
This is the place to start, and this
We
is the
did.
person.
Yeah.
Obviously Ming and the Shared Universe Podcast Studios. Check out the room.
Yeah, man.
This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The only thing that scared me is it's just the money. You know what I mean?
Well, you'll be surprised.
Reasonable.
Yeah, it's very reasonable. Very reasonable.
I definitely have to look into it. I've seen it at because we love Bellworks. I did a music video at Bellworks.
Oh, you did?
Which is on my YouTube channel. And I wish I would have submitted that to a few festivals, but
we
still
had
could.
music videos.
We had music videos this
Really?
year.
Yeah, I
Yes.
should have submitted that too.
That's okay. We will talk. Like I said, we will
Yeah.
talk. We will talk, because there's still 2023. We like the fact that, you're still a junior, so you have one more year of high school, and you're going to be in the area for at least one more year,
At least.
before you decide what your future is going to hold. Which,
Do you
by the
know
way,
where?
So I really don't.
Okay,
I don't. So
okay.
I've
that's
thought
perfectly
about-
fine too.
Sure.
Yeah, you know what it is like my brother went to film school. I love film, but like you said, I feel like from what I've seen, the people around me and who I've talked to, it's about the persistence more than the degree, you know what I mean? It's about the persistence, and I feel like you need it.
persistence, yeah,
persistence,
yeah.
which I think is part of persistence in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's between go to the academic route, or I go, I don't know.
We could have a week's worth
Oh my
of
God.
podcast
Yes,
with
I
that
could.
philosophical,
Yeah.
like that philosophical slippery slope.
Yes.
Just listen to your parents. Above all, listen to your mind and in your heart. There's so many ways to skin that proverbial cat. And you know what? I think preparation is necessary. But that preparation doesn't necessarily mean that you need to spend $30,000, $40,000 for 4 years.
That's what I'm worried about. If worst comes to worst, I know, her name was Lindsay, if I'm correct, who does the TV and broadcasting program at Brookdale.
It's a great program, man.
And I was recently just told I was eligible for the STARS program there.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
So yeah, so if I could go there, I could go for free and
absolutely.
doing the honors
Yeah.
program and
That's where I started. I started I was a communications major, and I started that communication major route at Brookdale, which had a better studio at the time.
Lauren, I'm sorry, I
Oh,
mentioned that. Lauren. What's her
Lauren.
name? Lauren. Yes, I apologize. Not Lindsay.
Lauren from
Lauren, if I ever meet you, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Lauren from Garden State. Are you talking
Yes.
about? Okay,
Yep.
Lauren
Yes.
Concat. Or yeah. So anyway,
Concar, is it?
Concord, yeah. And so yeah, that's where I started. I started my communication route, TV and radio, and the TV and radio program at the time. We'll go back to 1986. not to age myself or put myself in a category, was better at Brookdale than it was at Trenton State when I transferred over to Trenton State. Now, Trenton State was Trenton State at the time, not Trenton State Prison, Trenton State College, because that's what it was called, TCNJ now, but I didn't vote on that, so it's going to always be Trenton State College. And yeah, and then I followed that dream at Trenton State. I really enjoyed that program there. And then, of course, now I'm a therapist, but that's neither here nor there. I mean,
Yes.
abandoned the communications
But yeah,
department.
I still take acting classes in New York, and I may not take some this summer, but I will go back in the fall. Yes.
We have to talk about. I need some. I really want to delve into that too. Which is
we'll
a whole
talk.
another medium.
We will talk. Yes. No. Acting. I love it. That's my last dream. Other than my son being healthy and okay, that's every parent's dream. But other than that, after that, I have no more dreams left. So I have to pursue that 100%.
You should, man.
You know what, brother? Listen, thank you so much.
Yes.
Of course, thank
And
you.
we can't wait to see you Sunday, May 8th from 4 to 8 at Basie Center Cinemas, and I believe it's White Street in.
It's actually the Bow Tie. Oh, it used to be the old Bow Tie Cinemas.
Yes.
It's right across the street in the parking lot.
And you know what? Yes, it is Mother's Day, but if it's good enough for Kevin Smith,
Who's having something that same day.
yes, Min, can you tell us a little
you
bit about what's
elaborate
going
on
on?
Yeah, so Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes, the most of the cast of Clerks and Clerks 2.
Brian O'Halloran.
Brown O'Halloran, Jeff
buddy.
Anderson, Scott Schaffo, I think Trevor Fairman,
Oh, my
Aaron
God.
Gigliotti, all coming down to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. So tickets still available. You come down, meet them, take selfies. Then that night at the Atlantic Cinemas in Atlantic Highlands, they're taking over 3 of the theaters and doing like a 3-way Q&A.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know how this is working, but if you're there, you're going to see a Q&A with the whole cast of Clerks and Clerks 2. And it's Kevin. Will he bring maybe a preview of Clerks 3? I don't know. I really don't.
That
I have
might be
no
nice.
clue. But Kevin, he loves surprises.
Yes.
So if you, so I would come if I were you. If you're any fan of these movies, this is the best way you're going to meet all of them at one time and get a photo.
And Brian has been a part of our film festival as well as Ming and Mike.
Yeah, he's presented the awards. He's probably had a film or two in the festival.
Brian,
Yes.
Brian
Sure.
was, Brian was part of a film in the festival. He also was the MC at least a couple years in a row. Ming and Mike also MC'd or definitely gave away or definitely did some awards as part of the award ceremony a couple years ago. So, yeah, if you guys can get out, I mean, this is going to be a spectacular day. I'm hoping the weather's going to be nice.
You know what? The weather's going to be crappy tomorrow and Saturday, and it's going to break on Sunday.
Beautiful.
So it's going to be a beautiful day to be at the shore. So, between Kevin Smith and Hang On to Your Shorts Film Festival, you know what?
Plenty to do in Red Bank.
Spend quality time with Mama earlier in the day
Bring
and
Mama.
indulge yourself and
her.
bring
I'm
Mama.
sure your mom might want to come down
Oh
and
my
see this in the
goodness,
big
why
theater,
not?
right?
That would be the greatest.
Now,
gift.
now, just real quick, I know we got to wrap up and do stuff, but when you were at Garden State and you had the film in Garden State, where did they show your film? Because Lauren and that whole crew they have places all over.
Yeah, it was all over the city. They did Jersey Shore Arts Center for the high school sets.
Okay.
Which is is a nice little quaint place, and it was
Yes,
cool.
we've done our fest there too.
Yeah, it was a really great place to go, and it was also like just meeting the network of people, like other high schools. I had like other high school filmmakers like emailing me
That's cool.
afterwards, ask about the film, and just to kind of
Yeah, well, see, that's what we're really about. Hiram and I and Chris O have talked about this time and time again. We really want to create an environment that's filmmaker friendly. So that involves actors, producers, directors, and networking. We didn't do 2 days because we were just so short on time, and it was just a lot to do in a short period of time. Otherwise, we would have had like a Saturday night where we would have had some place to meet and hang out.
Yeah, I think honestly, giving the films, that's the one thing about Garden State that because they have so many films and so many submissions that it's hard to block out that time. But this being the festival where you can have your slots and see all the films in the slots is wonderful.
Right.
So I'm really, really excited for that.
Yes. Well, we're so happy and honored to have you, brother. And
Thank you for coming down, bro. Appreciate
and
it.
thank you for coming
you so
down.
much.
And you know what? We're gonna start wrapping it up. There's so much to be said, and there's still a lot that needs to be unpacked about this festival. Do not misunderstand us. We were very happy with the turn.
Yes.
We were very happy with the end product, and in the end, the quality of the films and the locations. I think the showroom cinemas was a hit.
Yeah.
DCP, great film quality, and
But a pain in the ass.
yes, a lot of smiles and happy faces. There was one little snafu when the projectionist turned on the wrong
Lights.
house lights, and there was one film crew that was not very happy. Understandably, I can't blame them. Wish they had not yelled at Chris O, but whatever. Not whatever.
doing
Not whatever.
business. Part of doing business,
It's
unfortunately.
happened to all of us.
Yes.
But so believe me, I was very happy with the film festival and seeing so many faces. A special shout out to the crew from Conductor, Roy Slay. They came
Yes.
all the way from New Mexico,
Mexico.
and they love the Jersey Shore, and we hope to have them again. But I will also admit that this was the jump off, that, we
The restart. The rebrand.
we reconvened immediately after, and we're already working on a bigger and better product for next year.
Yeah.
Not for any selfish reasons, but because we want to create a great environment for filmmakers. So we're going to bring back the networking events. We're going to bring back 2 days. And you know what? We're going to reach out more to the Asbury Park community and to the Monmouth County community to promote collaboration and maybe have more goodies and
Yeah.
goodie bags to give to the,
Yeah.
which we didn't have this year, but we will have next year.
Although those cigars went a long way.
Yeah, the cigars
The-
definitely
the-
did.
the- Yeah. The Casa de
Monte Cristo,
Monte
right?
Cristo. I don't know if it's too whited out.
It's too light, yeah. it's okay.
Casa de Monte Cristo definitely supplied cigars, which was great. River Street Sweets, they were a hit because they had the chocolate Oscars that we handed out in lieu of our
Yes.
of our awards, which will probably be something. Hand these out. I don't know what we're gonna
Yes.
hand out on Sunday, but in any case. They were a great adaptation. Instead of getting an award, people held this chocolate lollipop of an Oscar, which was great from River Street Sweets, and the chocolate was phenomenal. So I will save you some.
So yeah, we're gonna have a special. We're gonna have a sponsor special, and we're gonna have readings of some of the winning scripts and all of that. We will be podcasting in the near future. Probably will not be for a couple of weeks, at least a month, but then we're going to resume the regular podcast to promote
Sure.
the 2023 Hang On to Your Short Film Festival season. Thank you so much, sir,
Thank you.
for stopping by.
Chuck Vaughn, thank you, sir.
The way we do this is that we all do we go around and we do our shout outs. So you will start and then you will go.
I gotta go. All right. Well, I can't thank Hiram enough. I got teary-eyed the night of the film festival because he's done so much great work. He's made this festival this year what it is, and it's phenomenal. And I can't thank you enough. I will not stop appreciating you and thanking you. So thank you, Hiram. I want to thank all the people who have networked with us and helped us out. Our sponsors: Homesick, Porta, Pascal and Sabine. That's the Smith Group. Casa de Monte Cristo. That's the Cigar People. River Street Sweets, right over there on Cookman Avenue, right next door to House of Independence. Great candy store. Investors Bank, Heritage House, which is Sotheby's, and of course, the people that keep us going, Shared Universe Podcast Studios. And this was a good festival. The work was great. I'm grateful for all the people who submitted. Grateful for the people who watched the films and honored us with their opinions. I'm grateful for Maurice showing up and doing the stuff that he did for us that night, because he adds a lot to the film festival. Chris O, Rich, my cousin Mello Lello, Hiram, myself. I want to thank everybody at Shared Universe Podcast Studios. I want to thank my wife and my son, and just looking forward to seeing anybody and everybody come out on Sunday. Because if you're not at a Shared Universe Podcast Studios stuff, you got to be. If you're not going to be part of Kevin Smith stuff, then come down to our stuff, and vice versa. You have
Or
time
come
to
down
do
for
both.
a little bit. Yes.
Yeah. You have time to do both because it's there. And then, of course, So you want to give him his?
Yes,
his
I'll
vote?
shout out you guys first. This has been an amazing experience. When I got the voicemail today, I was in the middle of physics, and I was like, yeah, of course. What? I love the opportunity.
That's awesome.
Physics. That's cool.
Yeah, I was in physics class. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I want to thank first of all Vincent Albano, amazing collaborator, best friend. Julie Santiago, amazing actress. Amanda Katz, who I just worked on this new film with. Blake Elastigide. Let me think. FPAC, Ed Howell, so many great creators there. Megan, Ella, everyone there. Mr. Knapp, love Mr. Knapp. He's a teacher over at FPAC.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp.
Thank you, Mr.
It's Teacher Appreciation Week, so thank
Yes.
you.
Oh, and I want to appreciate you because you're a teacher as
stop.
well.
What do you
Thank
teach?
you. I teach Espanol, world language.
I literally, Senora is my favorite person in the world.
That is awesome.
Spanish 4. I want to take AP Spanish next year. That's another one of my passions. We're going to have to talk about that. Anyway.
That's awesome.
Shout out my brother.
cool.
Shout out my brother Andy. Shout out my brother Zach for putting the love of film into me. My parents for always being so supportive, and
Excellent.
yeah.
Well, I really
Beautiful.
appreciate your focus on family.
That's cool.
There's nothing more. My son AJ is making a lot of noise back there. I tell him, my core values, personal core values, and just for AJ, there's nothing more important than family. Number 2 is the truth, and number 3, education. Everything
True
else
that.
falls from there. Everything else, but family is always first. And it was really moving that's one of the first things that you mentioned when
Yes.
you got on that mic.
Thank you.
Much respect to you. Hey guys, thank all of you. I can't say anything that's hasn't already been said. Thank all the filmmakers. You guys make this, you guys make this fun for us. Albeit it's stressful at times, but definitely fun. Ming, thank you very much, brother. I love you. And with God's help, we'll see you soon, and we'll see you Sunday.
Yes.